loves, and welcome back to my channel for another speed build. My name's Silver, and today I have for you a contemporary family home. I don't often build in the modern style, but I used to a lot, and it was kind of fun to go back to my roots, as you know, some of you know if you've seen my other modern/contemporary builds, so it's, you know, roughly the same thing. I think what I really like about these modern builds and things like that is the fact that they're so weird. Like, every contemporary and modern build is different. And by the way, I say contemporary, but I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, so please correct me if I am wrong, but a contemporary build is like a current build, so like the current in-style build. You know, because it's contemporary to the time that in which it's built. So it's my understanding, like, a contemporary build in the 1960s would have been a mid-century modern. Could be totally wrong. Would not be surprised. I am typically wrong about things. So, but a modern build also just means modern to that time. Like, I think it's kind of weird to call things modern and contemporary, but at the same time, if I say modern, you get an idea of what I'm actually talking about. I did have a little bit of trouble with the shape. In my head, I just had an idea that I wanted a covered carport. And like, I started off with the front windows, and that was like what I had in my head, those two things. So everything came kind of after it. And I was actually going to build like a really kind of small family home just for one child and parents. But then this happened, so, you know, choices. And I'm sorry, I did use the color scheme I do normally use, because if you guys don't know, I actually don't like the black and white color scheme, and I think it's disingenuous to say that a contemporary/modern build has to be black and white. And although it is common for color blocking to occur in those kinds of builds, and even like in real life too, it is common. But I'm also building in Oasis Springs, which has a more mid-century modern feel, and although this is definitely not a mid-century modern house, I did want to kind of incorporate the essence of Oasis Springs, as well as just, you know, maybe not, well, I didn't want to color block it. And so I used the color scheme that I normally do, which is white, green, and brown. I'm sorry, I just love it so much. If you don't know, green is not my favorite color, yellow is, but for building, I love green. And my motto is that you can't have too many plants, and I'm a firm believer in that. So I personally like building with green a lot because it's such a fresh and fun color to build with. It's the color of nature. I mean, nature's, well, not all nature is green, but it's the color of vibrancy and life and freshness, and it's just a really vibrant color for me, and I really enjoy it. So I, of course, like building in The Sims with green, and that's why I put a lot of plants in there. My own house is decorated in this way. I mean, my desk itself has 3 different plants on it. I counted. I got it wrong last time, I said 4. It has 3 different plants on it, but then I have bookshelves with plants, and I have plants all through the house. Like, my house is decorated that way too. You know, if I could have a room dedicated to plants, I would. I'm actually going to the plant nursery today, and I'm really excited because I'm lame. I talked over it, but those lights that I put on, they are the pool lights, and I kind of like the way they look. I think they're not modern per se, but I do like the way it looks. Oh, I forgot to say, this is base game. I don't know why, I just really wanted to make sure it was base game. I haven't done one in a while. I was trying to do like a really kind of funky pool here, and I think I'll do it in the next like modern house or mid-century modern even, because I think the idea of having like a rustic pool is really cool, and especially like in these more affluent neighborhoods and affluent houses that are maybe more expensive, you would typically find more expensive features such as a super fancy rustic pool. By the way, that's not centered. I do fix it in the end. Fear not. It really bothered me as soon as I noticed it, but I don't know how I missed it to begin with. But when I went to go put cars in the carport in the driveway, I was just like, what is this? Why is this not centered? How dare I? So if you've noticed, I have stuck with the original kind of idea that I had in a previous video of where I do the outside first, like I do the windows and things like that while I'm building. And it really helps me envision the house the way that I would like, if that makes sense. I mean, like when I went inside, I was actually kind of surprised. The layout worked really well and I didn't have any problems with it. I also like doing landscaping in Oasis Springs. Oasis Springs is my second favorite world, the first being Sulani, which is where our next build would be. Hint, hint. And it's because I like the warmth. I mentioned, you know, vibrancy of nature and things like that. And for me, the cold just takes that away. I can appreciate it from afar. Like, I like learning about, if you don't know, I want to be a marine biologist. I like learning about the environments in the Arctic circles and what have you. And like the cold marine life and things like that. I enjoy that part of nature, but I personally like wouldn't want to go there and study it myself because it's just too cold for me. I prefer warmth and sunshine and happiness and joy because to me I thrive in warmth and brightness. That's just me. That's my personality. That's my personal preference. I really can't stand the cold. I sit here with like a giant robe on every day. But yeah, so that's why I like Oasis Springs and Sulani the most. Also, again, I want to be a marine biologist, so of course I like Sulani. You know, mermaids, right? Marine biologist, mermaids, totally go together, right? Science. Help. Okay, so we've got the layout. I included everything, of course, as you've noticed, so the video is a little bit longer. But I did end up getting 3 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms, with one of the bathrooms being half bath, so I guess it's 2.5 bathrooms. And I really, really enjoyed this. Like, this was supposed to be like a quick little family home thing, and I ended up spending the whole morning doing this. And it was really fun. But yeah, I use this combination of rock and that green and white all the time. And I ended up actually using like a wood paneling instead because I was like, you guys are going to be mad at me if I keep using this color scheme. I'm sorry, I just love it so much. And I actually don't normally get such a mix match of like colors and things like that. Like I use this kind of beige countertops. We changed the layout of this kitchen. I could not stand it. It just wasn't working for me. So we moved the kitchen onto that side. And but in this one, I actually like get mixes of grays and dark browns and blacks, and I'm kind of here for it. I'm not gonna lie. Like it's different because if you don't know, like I'm very particular. Like I spent ages getting this to line up perfectly because I'm that particular. It's just a personal thing. That's just how I am, and I just need color, guys. I used to, like, in my modern builds, I would just keep everything stark white, completely stark white, and then I would add, like, black, because that's what you expect in a modern build, I feel like. But I don't like that. Like, color blocking has never really been my thing unless it's, like, actual colors and not a lack of color or a tint, you know? It's just not for me. I didn't like it. Anyway. That's not to say I'll never build with it. It's just, you know, I didn't want to here. Sorry. Maybe someday. So these shelves are actually quite bare because I was working with base game and options were limited. Like I couldn't even put the little cups because I went back in at the end and looked at debug and they're from Get Together. So couldn't use those. That's fine. But we use this to like make a little pantry in here, and I think it made it nicer in the room. I think it made more sense than trying to fit like a bar in that area or some other thing. But So I like bringing colors from outside inside too. So the same colors I use outside, I typically will try to use inside, but not always. When it comes to houses like this, yes, I do, because I think it's a very intentional stylistic choice for your Sims. Oh my gosh, I'm talking like they're real. Help. The Sims are real. No, well, it is a life simulation game, so I guess you could, argue. Yeah. So I did try to change the color in here, but I was just like, no, no, no. No, we like the white. We like the beige. I like beige. It's fine. And of course, because this is base game, I couldn't add laundry, so I kind of imagined this is where you would have your laundry though. And I go back and change the color of that toilet to beige later, because reasons. Beige is superior. No, no, it's just because it matched the bathrooms upstairs, and I didn't do those until the end. I did include all the bathrooms. You're welcome. I tend to leave those out. My bad. I need to remember that I should, like, cycle through, because otherwise these videos do get rather long, but I really like showing you guys the whole process and why I do something, and although, barring yesterday when my video disappeared, I figured out what happened, by the way. So when I went to, I use OBS to record, and I have like a plus and minus sign so I can record and stop recording, and I swear I hit the minus sign, but apparently I hit the enter sign instead, so when I closed OBS it didn't save my video. And yeah, I'm dumb. Yeah, so moral of the story, I'm dumb. It's fine. Whatever. And guys, I remembered to put blinds in. I often forget curtains and blinds, I feel like, or maybe I don't. Maybe that's just in my personal builds and I only remember when I do these ones. Do I do that? I don't know. I'm not about to go watch all my videos to find out if I do that. Sorry. Priorities. I got stuff to do today. Today. I really can't speak. I don't know what it is. Like, language eludes me. Help. No. Yeah, I got stuff to do today. We're gonna go to the plant nursery because basically we bought a pineapple plant last year. Most delicious pineapple ever, by the way. And the plant died, but I didn't know it died because it still looked healthy. In my defense, it looked normal. But then, like, all of a sudden, we had a second pineapple plant growing out of it, but the other one's dead, right? So we have two pineapple plants in the same pot, and one of them can't, the new one can't really grow properly and expand because, it's sharing a small pot with, well, medium-sized pot with a big plant. The other one, like, and it's all spread out and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly sure how we're going to separate it precisely, but we'll get there. We'll see, but I need some soil and stuff because the plant itself is like starting to rot because of course it's dead, and the other plant is actually probably feeding off its corpse. Wow, that's morbid. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys. But it's true, it's probably getting nutrients from the dead plant. It's, essentially fertilizer. And at least I imagine that's what's happening. I'm not a plant expert, I just really love plants. When I get my plants, I do a lot of research on them to make sure I can take care of them properly, or try to. I have a very, very fickle umbrella plant. It's like it grows really, really quickly, and then it just stops and starts to look wilted for no reason, even though I'm, following the water patterns that it needs to do, and I'm checking its soil to make sure it's right. But no, apparently that's not good enough for it. But maybe I'll have it share a pot with a pineapple plant. I'm sorry. So these are the two kids' rooms. And I made one kind of pinkish and then the other one blue, but like I still kept the kind of more modern muted theme, I feel like. Maybe not so much in the blue room, it's pretty blue, but that's okay. We enjoy. And I didn't have particular like Sims in mind or anything like that, so I did make it kind of generic. I mean, this one, I kind of imagine painter or whatever. And I do think they're kind of older kids. I think this room is older than the other room, but you know, that's up to you guys. But yeah, so plants, guys, you can't have too many. So enjoy. Like, enjoy my builds. I put plants in everything, and I color everything green. It's fine. But yeah, so we're going out today, so but when I come back, I think I'm probably gonna play Sims all day, because, you know, priorities, yay. That's not true. I'm gonna go for a run later, but I need a new scale as well, because mine's being dumb, and like it does this thing where it like doesn't tell you the weight, and then it just snaps up to a random number, and like I've tried changing the batteries and stuff like that, and then it gives me like 5,000 different weights and stuff, and it's not just for me, like it won't weigh my cat. What is that about? Like, I don't understand. Not that I weigh my cat. That's he's interested, and he weighs quite a bit, so because he's a really big cat, not like chunky big, but like he's just a big cat. He's one of those like barn cats, and he's very curious about my closet, because I keep my scale in my closet. Basically, I don't keep all of my clothes in my closet in our bedroom. I actually have a closet in my office as well, where I do my videos and things like that, and like I have shoes and stuff in there, so I put my scale in there, but I keep the door closed all the time, which of course to a cat is the worst thing you could possibly do to them. So every time I open the door, all you hear is the little patter of feet as they run and try to hurry to get in the closet, and they're like, oh, what's in here? And I have a step stool in there, and they like to sit under it, and I really don't know how he fits under it, but he looks like a little turtle with the steps. Guys, my life. I use this common area as like the family game area and a little reading nook as well. I kept it pretty simple, because, well, options are limited, you know, so I think it's like the little cards table, because the Don't Wake the Llama table, I think, is from Get Together, so I couldn't use it, and I added an easel outside, and this is roughly where I figure out that that is not centered. The plants in the middle is not centered, but I put a car in here. I actually end up putting two, and I'm really glad that I kept this like little middle part like really structured and simple, because that would have been a pain to move everything, and I am picky. And I had a hard time figuring out where to put the mailbox. I almost wanted to get like the one from university stuff, but of course I was doing base game, so I couldn't do that anyway, because I felt like it would fit in better. I think it really fits in with these kind of modern styles personally, but we're back into the house for the bathrooms, and here's where I was like, do I go for black and white? And I really didn't like it, so we didn't do that. I'm sorry. I will do a black and white color block house soon. Swearsies. Yes, swearsies. I just find every excuse not to use black and white. But with that, guys, we are coming up to the screenshots. Oh, really quickly, this is in Vista Quarry for 155,000 simoleons. I meant to talk about that earlier. I have a problem with remembering to do that. But yeah, sorry guys, we'll work on that. But that is it for now. Let me know in the comments if you like the video, and show your support by tapping the like button, and subscribe for more builds. And if you'd like this build in your game, it is up on the gallery under my username Silverplumbobs. And remember guys, I upload daily. Have a great day. Bye!